This episode brought to you by
Audible.
Audibletrial.com/horrorvirgin for 30 days free and a book to get you started. For your book recommendation, Jen Ferratu.
It's me. Hey, guys. I am recommending The Green Mile today by Stephen King.
Woken.
Yeah. Whoa.
I really like when John Coffey molests Tom Hanks.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's
true.
great.
Read The Green Mile. Listen.
Don't read The Green Mile. Listen to The Green Mile.
It's so good. And it's
This
by
is an
Stephen
Audible
King.
ad, not Jen's book club.
And the book is better than the movie.
So check out audibletrial.com/horrorvirgin for 30 days free and a book to get you started. This episode also brought to you by
Nick B.
All right, so...
Uh-oh. Here we go. Did you see his Blair Witch Project video? Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
I didn't see it.
Nope.
He posted
Missed
on
that one.
Twitter. It was really funny. He posted on Twitter a picture of the Wispa Crispas, which
I did see
allegedly are some kind of thing in England. But then he posted a video of himself and it was like real close to his face, like that Blair Witch Project video where she's crying. She says, "I'm so fat right now." It's really funny. Check it out. Follow us on Twitter, guys. Hey, Nick B, you're awesome.
And follow Nick B on Twitter at Cake of Doom, right?
Yeah,
his
it's
handle?
Cake of Doom. He's funny.
I know things about Nick B too.
Yeah.
This episode also brought to you by
John.
All right.
Uh-oh. Let me tell you the truth
Let me
about
tell you
John.
the truth about John. Okay, is everybody paying? Is everybody sitting down?
Oh my God.
Jeez.
I heard John went to the doctor because he had pneumonia.
Oh, yeah?
And the nurse was someone he had recently ghosted.
Yeah? What did he
Mikey.
do in that situation?
Is that story hitting a little close to home, Mikey?
John, you should give that nurse another chance. If she'll have
Mikey,
you.
Sorry.
you shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't.
I think I still follow her on Instagram. Is it the one I followed that night?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, she's actually been traveling recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
To Australia?
Oh, I think she might be in Australia. I'm not even joking, Mikey.
She blocked the fuck out of me.
Oh,
bro.
yeah, she did. Well, because you ghosted her.
Yeah. And then tried to give her pneumonia.
I showed back up with pneumonia. You need to bring the theme music in before I bring it into the theme music.
Ooh, that
I
sounds
don't
like
know
a
what
threat.
that means, but I do not want to find out.
Let me tell you, when I was Googling Shocker, some shocking things came up that were not related to this movie.
Every week you Google some ridiculous sex term.
You guys made me do it this time.
We didn't make you do it this time. You were interested.
I mean, I already knew what it was.
You're getting quite the education.
I already knew what it was.
Yeah, I went to high school. Like, I had the idiot boys who would run around with those white hats.
Now I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Two in the pink, one in the same. But they would just say, "That's Shocker!" Welcome to the Horror Virgin, everybody. I'm Jen.
I'm Mikey.
And I'm the Horror Virgin Todd, which means I don't like scary movies. And this week, you guys made me watch the 1989 Wes Craven masterpiece. Shocker.
Yeah, question that word. Yeah, we
I
watched
loved
Shocker. It was
But-
fun. Hey, but you know what? We've got a guest.
We do. I was about to say that.
Yeah, this week we've got returning fan favorite guest, Jonathan.
Thank you very much.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yay, Jonathan Watkins from Citizens.
I just love it. Hey, what's up, guys?
I don't know.
Hey, it's like whatever, man.
Right.
You're like a mobster from Chicago. Hey, what's up, guys? We're gonna talk Shaka, whatever. So let's talk first thoughts about this movie because I really liked it a lot.
Yes!
I did. It was Mikey's pick. This is a movie, correct me if I'm wrong, Mikey, you haven't seen since you saw it the first time.
Yeah,
or
I
at
saw
least,
it when I was like a kid.
well, it came out in 89, right?
Yeah.
So you probably saw it on VHS.
Yeah, I saw it
much
from
after that, but yeah.
This week I went back to the batshit insane category of
Yes.
horror
Yep.
and just felt like it's been a few weeks since we've done something completely off the rails.
I have not seen this since I was a child either. And I probably like when it came out is when I saw it. But this might be like the darkest movie Wes Craven has ever made.
Which is saying something,
But
right?
I have not seen Last House on the Left, but other than that,
Oh.
I can't think of a movie darker than
Last
this.
House on the Left is darker than
Yeah,
this,
I would think so. I would
Yeah.
think so. But
This
in all
is-
seriousness, this is a very dark film.
It is. There's
I
a lot
didn't
of
know
tragic
Last
things.
House on the Left was a movie, and now I get Last Podcast on the Left's name.
Yeah.
Aw.
And I love that
Welcome
podcast.
to the conversation.
I don't know. I have no idea. So what do you think, Jen?
I think it's Wes Craven's most convoluted movie.
Oh, it
and
is
It should
crazy.
be 5 seasons of Wes Craven's greatest show ever.
I do feel like it's packed into one movie.
It was fun to watch, and I think
Yes.
it's going to be really fun to talk about. It's just bonkers, you know.
It is bonkers, but it's like bonkers in the House 2 sense of the word, not bonkers
Yes.
bad.
Oh, yeah.
Bonkers good. I do feel like someone came to Wes Craven and said, hey, we can do this one specific special effect. And he was like, cool, we have 45 minutes to write a movie about it.
When I watched it, I thought it was pretty scary back in the day. It's not as
Well,
scary
but
now.
how old were you?
I was like 12.
Yeah.
But I thought Friday Night was terrifying the first time. I
Yeah,
watched
because you
it.
were super young when you saw that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that. Like if I was 12, this would have been scary. It wasn't scary. though.
And the killer has quite a body count.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Very quickly
And it's pretty
in the
funny.
movie, which we'll quickly
And they're
get
all
into.
related to the same person.
Yeah. So this is described as a black horror comedy.
That's not true. This movie is not
I
funny.
don't think
I don't think it's supposed to be funny.
Exactly. I don't think it was intended to be a horror comedy, but I do think it's funny.
I think Wes Craven was just trying to create a new Freddy Krueger. I think that's all
Yes.
this
He was.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
I read.
Freddy Krueger was the good guy.
Wasn't he a
Wait, how was Freddy Krueger?
No.
In this
Nancy
movie.
is
In
the
this
good guy.
movie. In this movie.
No, because
Forrest
it's a reverse
Pinker
Freddy
would be
Krueger.
Freddy
Because
Krueger.
Jonathan Parker has the Freddy Krueger powers.
I got you.
I did read a little bit about this, but I think this was when Wes Craven was starting to lose a little bit of control with the sequels to Nightmare on Elm Street, and so I think he was trying to write this to kind of recreate it and
I
have
can
a
sort of
little
see
more
that.
control.
Although I haven't seen any Nightmare on Elm Streets.
They're really good. There's a lot of similar elements in here, and I think you're right. I think he was trying to
Yeah.
take that kind of simple concept that really works in Nightmare on Elm Street, and he just confused it so much that it doesn't work anymore.
One of the worst Nightmare on Elm Street movies came out this same year, part 5.
Yeah, and so that's when it starts to get really bad. I haven't seen that one, so I think he was really frustrated with that and was kind of trying to do it again.
All right, well, let's get into this fucking movie.
Okay, so we start out with shocker, no, it's like the heavy metal shocker song or something.
Oh, you mean the Steel Panther Shocker song?
Oh, is it? Is
no,
that what
it's
it's called?
definitely not Steel Panther.
It's Dudes of Wrath.
Is
Is
it?
it?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. You
I've
went the
got fun
soundtrack,
facts.
Jonathan.
I listened to this soundtrack. This is like one of my first CDs I ever owned.
Oh my God. There's a lot of like
And I haven't
Megadeth.
listened to it since. Yeah, there's like
Megadeth.
Megadeth covers Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
I got fun facts about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jen. So it starts out with heavy metal
Heavy
music
metal
and then
shocker
what?
music, and we see like somebody in a workshop, and he's like welding stuff, and he's cleaning blood off
Very
of a
Freddy
knife.
Krueger.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't seen Nightmare on Elm Street in a while, but yeah, it is. So now we've got news footage of someone who murdered people or something. That's what I got from
How many people does he kill in this movie?
a lot.
Do
He's
you
like,
have-
he kills a lot.
He kills a lot. And Mikey, I question the premise because maybe if you weren't talking through the whole movie, we would pay more attention.
But
to
I've
your
seen
movie.
it already.
I know, but I haven't. We had
So
to
I'm
look
allowed
up
to
the
destroy it.
summary of what the fuck was going on.
That's not my
I
fault.
think
That's
we would
the
have,
film's
yeah,
fault.
we would have to do that regardless.
The film
Yeah,
does a
that's true.
summary an hour and a half in to just remind us what all the
Remind us
shit
what
that
happened.
Well,
happened.
prior to the movie starting, I think he had killed like 20 people.
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, it was a
something
lot. It was
crazy
a
like
huge
that.
body
So
count number.
the premise of this serial killer is that he breaks into people's houses with a knife and murders whole families.
Yeah.
yeah, but for no reason. Like he's just
No
chosen at
reason.
random, right?
Because it's shocking.
Oh, it's gonna be that kind of day, guys.
It is. Woohoo!
All right.
So now we've got Peter Berg, and I love Peter Berg. He's the main character in here, and you called him a knockoff Tom Cruise, but I love him.
Little-
That's
yeah,
what
John Tesh is a
12-year-old me remember.
12-year-old Mike.
I can see
Look
that.
like, so Peter Berg is Jonathan Parker. He's
Sorry.
a football star in a small college town, it seems
That we
like.
thought was a high school
We
team.
thought it was a high
Yes,
school.
we did.
for
Why
10
are all these
minutes.
people 45 years old and playing high school football?
They were still too old to be in college.
That's true.
See, the thing is that John Tesh comes on the screen every 15 minutes and clears up my questions about the movie.
Yeah, John Tesh is a real bro in this movie. Dude. He really helps you out.
John Tesh's like, if you didn't understand the last 10 minutes of the movie, he's in college
Yeah.
and he had a dream that he found the serial killer and led the police to it.
Yeah.
So he's at football practice, and his coach is yelling at him because he's distracted. And
because he's flirting with his girlfriend on the side of the what do they call him?
Football field.
There you go. I like sports. I don't know.
sports time area place.
He's on the same team as the original ADA from Law and Order.
He is, yes.
Yeah, and that
I love
guy's
that guy.
35 years old and playing college football. He sustains a major concussion.
Because he runs into a pole.
Yeah.
Hear me out now. The movie's fine up until the concussion. What if this is just his concussion?
No, I personally think it's a Jacob's Ladder type situation where he's been dead since the beginning of the movie. It's just him slowly getting more and more dead.
Guys, I ran into a pole this week.
What? Did you hit it with your car or did you walk into it?
I walked into it.
Yeah.
How did you do
I was walking
that?
down the street and my friend was driving and I was waving to her. And I walked.
Did she see you do it?
She did.
Oh my God, that's so
And
embarrassing
all
for you.
of my coworkers saw me too.
Oh my
It
God,
was
that's
really
amazing.
embarrassing. But I blocked it with my hand and I went with it, you know?
But
I'm
he has to
delightful.
like go out of his way to run into this pole. It's like the
does.
most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. He goes out of bounds.
Yeah.
So the touchdown doesn't even fucking count.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
an
running in a
idiot.
way that no
He's a
football
terrible
player ever
football
would
player.
run. Yeah.
I don't know why this coach is like determined to get him to do anything.
I
'cause
know.
He's terrible.
So he runs into the goalpost and then he has it's like
He
a
has a
severe
concussion.
trauma.
Yeah.
He's distracted by his girlfriend who's actually dressed as a Puritan pilgrim.
Or maybe that's just in his head.
Oh.
That's what he wishes she would dress like.
But she makes sure to remind him that he has not had sex with her
Oh
yet
yeah.
while he's trying
She's
to
like,
wake her
hey,
up.
I know you have a severe head trauma, but I just want to put it out there. We've never had
Did
sex.
she say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're walking. We think that they're walking home from his
Practice,
head
yeah.
injury. Like maybe they're walking for him to get medical
Go
care.
walk it off. It's
Yeah.
1989.
I don't think there's a hospital in
Rub
this
some
town.
dirt on that head.
So they're walking down a delightful Nightmare on Elm Street-esque street.
Yeah, you guys kept saying that during that.
Yeah, it
West
does.
Craven suburbia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And then some kids run across the street and disappear. And so now we think maybe something is up.
Yeah.
Well, it actually looked just like a bad special effect. Like
It did.
It looked like they screwed up something and they just disappear.
Yeah. And it reminded us of the Glitch Killer in VHS, only 80s style.
It is like that though.
Yeah.
It is very much like that.
And we've got a Glitch Killer in this movie, too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is better than VHS. Just
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it is.
It is,
It's
yeah.
less rapey.
I did not know about that.
So they're walking down the street and they see a house. And I was a little.
It's his house.
It's his house. His current
Well,
house.
it's his parents' house.
his parents' house.
Okay,
Yeah.
but he's now
Foster
apparently
parent.
in college. He walks into this house. Girlfriend's gone, and he sees Pinkerton van outside. Pinkerton's TV repair.
Is it really Pinkerton?
I think it's Pinker.
It's Pinker.
Is it really Pinker? Like
Yeah.
that is
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's
His name
Pinker
is Horace
TV
Pinker.
repair.
That is amazing.
He's
Yep.
like, there's a TV repair van at my mom's house.
So he walks into the living room of this house, and he sees some dead person on the floor, and their fingers are kind of cut a little bit.
No, I think they're like off. I think 3 of them are cut off.
yeah?
Yeah, cut off.
And then he goes upstairs, and he sees a woman screaming and trying to protect a child from
A killer.
A
The
killer.
killer.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we haven't seen the killer yet, so we don't know who it is. But
It's Pinker Stinker.
It's Pinker Stinker Shocker. Yeah.
And she looks straight up like,
We're doing this.
yeah.
And she's yelling at Jonathan, like, Jonathan, protect me, protect me. And the guy is like menacing her.
Yeah, she's like yelling at her son. I think she calls him like son or get him
Yeah.
son or something like that
And
to
I was-
signify that she's his mom. But
Right.
she's like telling her early college kid to attack a like murderer.
Not
Yeah.
just that, she's like,
Yeah.
you have to save me and us.
She's
Your
like, grow
sister.
a pair.
I even said I was like, she's putting a lot of pressure on him. That's like really like
Yeah.
the
Man
thing you're
up,
not
Jonathan,
supposed to do.
we're
Yeah.
gonna die and it's your fault.
But he does, and he jumps, but he jumps into the Shocker Man.
Yeah, I think what you're meant to say was Pinker Stinker.
And
Pinker Stinker.
I don't know if we
is
can
a
use
good
that
name
nickname,
for
man.
this.
And then wakes up in his waterbed with his girlfriend who's fully clothed.
Yeah, she's fully clothed. The phone's
Still
ringing.
wearing her skirt. Now I have worn a skirt. It's not something I'd want to sleep in.
You don't sleep in
And
skirts.
No.
if you're going to sleep in a button-up shirt, you would at least undo the collar button.
It's
You
all
would-
the way up. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like she's like ready to wear a tie. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only reason you do a collar button is if
Yeah.
you're wearing a tie.
So he wakes up to a phone call. His girlfriend answers the phone. We still thought they were in high school at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah, so we're
And
like,
she's like, it's your dad. And I was like,
Right.
damn.
God damn. Yeah.
no, I still haven't slept with your son.
Oh, your dad wants to talk to you.
So his dad called. They get on the phone and they're like, he's like, is mom okay? And Bobby and what's her face? And he's like,
You know my younger sister?
yeah. And his dad's a detective, by the way, everyone.
Well, you can't really hear his dad, right?
Right, no, he just goes, no, they're all
Wah,
dead.
wah, 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 wah.
No, you can't hear him. He's not like, nah, kid, they're all fucking dead. It's
He's
fine.
a very detective.
He
and a
just
very
tells him to
heavy
come home.
smoker.
So he goes to his mom's house. And so basically what we find out is everything he saw in that dream actually happened. Because he
Yes.
goes to the same house. Everything happened the way he saw it in the dream.
Yeah.
And this is when we find out that he is a foster child, the older foster child of this family.
But we were so confused.
Well, and then John Tesh comes on.
yeah.
And then he's
yeah,
like,
this is good news exposition.
Jonathan Parker,
Yeah.
son of Don Parker, the detective. So he's adopted, not a foster kid because they
Right.
share a last name.
Ah.
His family was murdered, his adoptive family. So his mom and brother and sister were all murdered. So at the end, John Tesh came up and just like cleared up the whole 15 minutes.
But that is really weird.
Thank
It's
you.
exposition, so that makes sense from a screenplay writing standpoint. But it's really weird that the whole newscast would be more about Jonathan than the
Right.
people
Yeah.
that were fucking murdered.
Dude, I think John Tesh talks about his football eligibility status at one point. Like people
Bob in your college football player.
yeah, so he goes, his whole family was murdered. He's pledged to play in the game Saturday.
So there are people at home watching TV like, what? Murdered? Is he? oh, thank God he's going to play.
They'd already set their
town is
fantasy
this?
lineups.
Oh, my God.
They had to make sure that they
you're
weren't-
all important
I don't know where they are,
B-level
but-
fantasy college football.
Right. All right, so now we're at the funeral.
I'm sorry, Jen. Which funeral? Because there's like 90 in
Okay.
this movie.
So now we're at the funeral of his adopted
mom.
mom and foster brother and sister who are
Right.
children.
It's a three-peat.
And then he goes and has a drink with his dad, and this is when he tells him that he dreamed the whole thing and
Yep.
describes the crime scene down to those little fingers that got shocked off.
And then his dad's like, shut up,
Yeah.
because I just lost my whole family.
Yeah, well, and also, cops withhold details from the public so they know who the
Yeah.
killer is when they admit to stuff, and it's not like some person just wanting attention
Yeah,
or
he should have
whatever.
been arrested right
Yeah,
then and there.
you should have arrested him because no one other than the killer knows those facts.
Right.
Well, except for the cops.
Except,
But
I mean, it's his last living relative. So.
Right.
yeah.
So, but he does tell his dad, he's like, I know who it is. I saw his van. But he's
Yeah.
like, you're taking me with me. Or you're taking me with you.
That's the right way to say it. Yeah. Yeah. But they pretty much immediately question mark, right? They go check
immediately
it out.
accept it's dark when they get there. So they go to a place of business at like 8 o'clock at night and expect it to be open and then just break in when it's not.
The dad gets a sergeant and 3 officers to go with him to the TV repair shop.
Yeah.
They go up there. Well, it's locked. We don't have a warrant, so we can't get in. He's like, the dad's like, someone broke in here, and then just kicks the door in. He's like,
Yeah.
we gotta explore.
He's just lost his whole family, which is why he should have been taken off this case.
Oh, he would have been taken off the case. Yeah.
Yeah. So they go to his place of business, which
Yeah.
is a TV repair store. And it's like Freddy Krueger built a TV repair store because
yeah.
it's very evil inside. There are lots of TVs all playing footage of bombs and stuff.
Death.
Jesus.
And the shocker is just peering at them through the like holes in the walls or something.
Well, no, he's got like a whole hidden maze
got
behind the
it.
shelves.
There's a whole labyrinth of where he makes
Yeah.
his murder.
Speaking of which, how would they not have caught him yet? I mean, he's in town.
He's at his place of business.
Yeah.
They know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But first, we have a cop who lights a cigarette and then makes a bad pun. Can't remember what the bad pun is, but I called him Bad Pun Cop until he dies seconds later. So he turns around and he gets shocked from the back.
When you say shocked from the back, he's
mean-
not actually shocked.
You mean grabbed?
Yeah, he gets grabbed from
He got-
behind.
And there is a lot
Grabbed
of
from the back
grabbing
by the
from
shot.
behind in this
There
movie.
There is,
It's a
and
thing.
not just from the killer. Like it's
No.
like father son grabbing from behind. It's weird.
Weird park crawling, grabbing from behind.
Oh yeah.
We'll get there. Anyway, so he gets grabbed by the shocker from behind
Yes.
and pulled through a secret shocking door.
Door did not shock them, Jen.
We have to be
I
clear
was
because
shocked
later on
by it.
everything does shock
Yeah,
people.
like
That's true.
this
That's
is-
true.
This is pre-shocker. This is just
Yeah.
stinker pinker.
This is the
This is no stinker pinker shocker.
This is the foreplay to the shocker, if you will. So now Bad Pun Cop has been
well, we don't know yet. He's just
He's
taken back
disappeared,
behind
yeah.
the trap door, not trap door, but
but
hidden
we don't
shelf,
think
right?
it's going to turn out good for him.
It cuts back to Jonathan, who's like, a clue.
yeah. It's like
and
Blue's
then,
Clues.
and then and he's wearing a jacket that's like 5 times too big for him.
Yeah, he's wearing his dad's detective jacket.
But they're the same size.
So we see blood start to pool under the door.
Yeah,
and,
by the cigarette butt.
and now they think maybe there's something going on, and maybe Bad
like,
Pun Cop
"Sergeant?"
got killed.
They start kicking on that trap door thing.
Yeah.
Or
But
hidden
not
secret
before.
passageway. But Stinker Pinker runs out the back door and starts to head towards the other cops that are outside just
Right.
waiting,
Who have
right?
their backs turned to danger.
Oh my God.
Not only are their backs turned, their shoulders are incredibly close. Like
Yeah, I
those
thought they
two
were peeing.
definitely sleeping together.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they definitely are.
Because they were like leaning on each other, not just standing guard.
And they're just like, so it's like a really nice night out here, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is really pretty out here. You're
I
like,
can't wait to
know.
meet your mom.
Do you think she'll like me? Yeah.
I wonder if I should tell him I'm pregnant. And then the female cop turns around and she sees Stinker Pinker, but dressed in the sergeant's clothes because they just magically seem to be the same size.
Right.
And then she starts talking to him, and then he stabs her in the stomach, and then he stabs
And
the other cop too in the
stabs her in the
stomach.
throat. Now, Dad and son have found the Bad Pun Cop, and he's in his underwear, and so we know the
Yeah.
cop uniform went on to.
And he's got his
throat's cut.
His throat
Yes.
slit. Yeah.
He's got
There's a lot
blood
of
all
gore.
over.
Yeah,
in
and
this-
that's the
yeah.
that's the nudity in this movie is that guy in his underwear.
And I am on board for it.
I mean, there's
no,
some-
we see Peter Berg
Yeah,
in his
there's
underwear
some
later.
Peter Berg boxer action.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
true.
made notes about that too.
Oh, so did I.
This is a rare horror movie that doesn't sexualize any female.
It
No,
is.
the woman in this movie is wearing more clothes than any man in the movie
true.
ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So Peter Berg and his dad kick down the trap, secret passageway.
Yeah.
See the cop is in his underwear. run out the back door, see the 2 dead cops, and then they run to the cop car and see another cop
And
who
he's
has
like a cartoon expression of terror on his
ridiculous,
face. And it looks
yeah.
a little bit like a blow-up doll, too. Like his mouth is
I don't know
that
what
far.
those look
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't
Jim.
know what that
Oh,
looks like.
of
Actually, I
course
would
not.
because the movie The Thing.
Oh, that's
Kurt
right.
Russell's carrying one around in the thing, so
Yeah.
that's the only reason. Dude, but he is like been choked with the radio cord, right? Like the cord
And
from his
stabbed. There's
radio.
blood everywhere.
Yeah.
He got all serial
But it
killed.
looks like a Looney Tunes character.
does,
It's the
yeah.
most
It looks
ridiculous effect I've ever
It
seen.
looks like a Looney Tunes character who saw a very attractive woman.
But wait, right when you think it's most ridiculous, here comes the TV repair truck, hits the cop car, and then the guy yells out, "Got you, fuckers!"
As he's driving
Yeah, he's
away.
like, ha
And then he
Oh my
wows the
God.
door off of the car. It's really funny.
It's
He might as
truly
well have
insane.
been like trucker honking all the way down. It was really funny. And the dad is yelling at Jonathan with a radio that's not
Not
plugged
plugged in.
So
Yeah.
it's just flailing around the place. It's
Really ridiculous.
This is when I started to get a feel for what kind of movie this was going to be.
It honestly only gets more bonkers from here,
It
though.
really
Like,
does.
At the end of that scene, Peter Berg tells his dad, "Don't worry, Dad, I can find him again."
Yeah. And now we hear weird sex noises.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we pan to a pillowcase.
This is amazing talking about this
I
shit.
know. And then we pan to a bathtub with girlfriend in it, still hearing the weird sex noises.
Yeah,
Yes.
but she's like rubbing up, tubbing it with like a
Right.
no.
and not sexually. You
No.
can't see anything.
She's just taking a bath.
Shoulders out.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's standing off to the side, like
He is.
watching.
Well, then we see a vibrating chair, still hearing the sex noises, and it's like,
I am terrified of what your sex sounds like.
and then he's doing back pull-ups.
Yes.
Peter Berg is. He's
Sorry.
got to get that energy out somehow. He's real
Oh,
frustrated.
his family just got murdered.
He's
His
got a.
girlfriend won't sleep with him.
But she, wait, I have some questions. Let's stop the movie.
I want to say this before we moved on. Did you guys notice that she was fully clothed in that bathtub?
She was not. But here's a
She
question.
had
She
a
is
bathing
later.
gown on,
She is later.
She
in
had
the
like a
bathtub.
1920s
She is.
bathing suit on. Like,
like a shower cap.
Yeah, big shower cap.
Scene would have been better if he walked by the bathroom and like covered his eyes.
I do like how he just shouts out 20 like he's done 20 pull-ups when he clearly has not.
For his girlfriend, he's like, 200, I'm done.
It reminded me of Ron Burgundy. He's like, I just did 500 curls or whatever he's
Yeah.
done on his. Anyway.
So he tells his girlfriend, he's like, I've got to go to practice, even though my 3 family
Yeah.
members were murdered.
Well, he's
No, he
pledged to
forgot
play.
about practice. She reminds
That's
him.
Oh,
right.
that's right.
That's right, because we were
He
like,
goes and sits in his vibro chair.
Yeah.
He goes to relax. And she's like, aren't you forgetting practice?
yeah,
And I
she's
was
like, excuse me, meal ticket, get off your ass and make sure you get the NFL.
You got to go.
We're
I am
forgetting
not
something.
getting a
What are we
job.
forgetting?
he gives her birthday present.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yep.
And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you remembered with all this going on.
No,
All
but get
this
your ass to
being
practice.
The murder of 3 family members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gives her a heart-shaped necklace from
Yes.
Kay Jewelers.
It's beautiful.
It is pretty sweet.
That's nice. If you're like a poor college student, that's like a nice
I don't think he went
gift.
to Jared's.
And she's like, I can't remember you.
I can't believe you remembered.
Yeah, because you like, your mom and sister and brother were murdered.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I bought this before that.
No. He goes,
until you put
well, I
out.
bought this for my younger sister, but
It was my mom's. I took it off the bottom.
God. Oh, Mikey. I
Already
love
a
you.
better movie.
I'm
Anyway, she
sweating.
goes, now get to practice.
She more or less says, thank you for the gift, but you're my meal ticket. Go to practice, get better.
Yeah.
And then right after he leaves, she gets murdered.
Brutally murdered.
Okay, so she is. Yeah, she's drying her hair. Now he walks out
Well,
and
and
sits in
also,
his car
it-
forever and like shits
That was
inside.
when Mikey say, I forgot how to drive.
And that's what I'm like, that concussion's
No,
real
and
bad.
it feels like
Yeah.
it's like he's been to practice for a while, and she's still like she's just now drying,
She's drying
off
her hair, and she like prays to protect him or something.
Yes.
Yes.
And she's wearing the necklace, and
Yeah.
so I think that
Yeah.
imbues the power of
That's
love
the
or
right
something
word.
with the necklace. Yeah.
Please, God, protect my Jonathan and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, she's holding it in her hand.
Yeah. So the next thing, so he's trying to remember how to drive his car. Meanwhile, she's inside drying her hair.
Yes.
And then, oh no, the shocker, it's right behind her, and he
That's
gets
usually how it
killed.
gets there.
That took a turn.
It does take a turn because she gets murdered while he's
does.
driving to practice.
Yeah.
violent.
Yes.
I was not expecting
I mean,
that.
it's not like super gory necessarily. Well, it probably is a little bit, but it's just super brutal. Like,
It is
it's
brutal,
yeah.
yeah, but he finds out very quickly.
Yeah, he
that-
does.
that-
Well, I mean, he's at practice running around. You see him running drills or whatever, and the coach is like, "Hey, you need to head home. You need to go home. Is everything all right?
no, everything's totally totally normal.
Just go home.
Go right home.
Yeah.
Listeners, this is 2 days after his family was murdered, and he watched 4 cops get murdered.
And
I don't
Right.
think it's 2
and
days.
I believe
I think it's the next morning.
I believe it's 2 hours into the movie.
no.
No.
Feels
10
like
minutes.
2 hours into the
No.
movie.
Remember, we paused it, and she dies. Like they're burying
It's like
her
25 minutes.
27
in,
minutes
yeah.
into the movie. I
Yeah.
was like, so many people have died in this specific dude's life in 30
Yeah,
minutes.
the fact that he's not catatonic is unbelievable.
He's had a lot of trauma.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he races home to the crime scene where the cops were apparently like ordered not to touch him because he's like,
Right.
they're like, you probably shouldn't go in there.
They
We're
say
the-
that.
We're just the police, though. It's not like we can
Yes,
stop you.
It's not like we're supposed to
He
control the
gets
scene.
all the way to the fucking
He
bathtub.
does. He like grabs her. Her body's still in the bathtub. He grabs her out of the bathtub and is like
Yeah,
holding
well,
her.
I mean, he hadn't had sex with her yet. He's got to.
Last
Oh,
chance.
no.
He does kiss her in the grave, though. Or in the,
No, not in the grave. That would be
In the
at the
coffin.
visitation. Yeah,
Coffin.
on the lips. I'm sorry. Oh, that's weird, right? That's weird,
No,
right?
that's weird.
I can understand
Yeah.
kissing him on the forehead. That's fine. Kissing him on the lips is.
Okay, he loved her. She was murdered. The rest of his family was murdered. Let's give him some leeway. It's not like he tongued her. I'm just saying he's got a lot on his plate, okay?
He does, and I'm not
And he's
judging.
got the big game on Friday, guys.
He's still pledged to play.
I know. Okay,
It comes
but
to the news that night.
Yeah, John
but what
Tesh
we
is saying it.
Also,
what we forgot to say though was that in blood written on the bathroom
yeah.
it says "Happy Birthday, Jonathan."
Wait, I thought it was her birthday.
No, it was. Oh, do they have the
Oh.
same birthday? It does say "Happy Birthday, Jonathan."
It
I don't know.
does. I mean-
Wes Craven probably forgot whose birthday was it in between writing those two scenes.
Maybe
I
that's what
kind of
he-
forgot whose birthday
Yeah.
it was.
Maybe that's what he wrote on her birthday card.
Or maybe he's the kind of person that gives people presents on his birthday.
He's a good dude.
Anyway,
Real joke.
let's move the fuck
All
on.
right, because we've still got 9,000 things that still have
Yeah.
to happen.
Important plot point. She was buried wearing his necklace he got her for his birthday.
Yeah, that
That
heart
heart
necklace.
necklace.
That she,
prayed on.
like, yes.
So I got a little confused here. So he's got his old timey car on the track of the football field.
Yeah.
He's sitting at the top, I guess, thinking, and then he walks down into the car, and his friend from
Rhino.
Law and Order, he's Rhino, who
the
was in
guy
Law and
from
Order.
Law and Order?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he's going to fall asleep and try to like find Shocker Dude somewhere in the world while he's asleep. And then Rhino is going to wake him up and they're going to go track him down and it's foolproof.
So
And-
in the dream, he sees it looks like a boarding house.
It's an apartment building.
yeah, okay. So
First
an
off,
apartment building.
Rhino is maybe the greatest friend ever in a movie.
he really
Yes.
is.
I mean,
Yes.
this dude right off the bat's like, oh, you can see this guy in your sleep? Okay.
I
Yeah.
believe you.
Yeah.
Like that is insane
And
in
he
and
might
of itself.
brutally murder me if I help you. That's cool. I'll help you out.
Yeah,
fine. I'll help you
I'm
out
on
20
board.
times.
This motherfucker is ride or die.
Yeah.
But when he finds out that Pinker is jumping into other bodies, I mean, the coach and that dude believe him immediately.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody does.
Like,
The newspaper believes him immediately.
Oh yeah, once the newspaper
post
finds
a
out that
story
he
about it.
dreamed the murders, they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, that sounds like a fact."
I got real confused because they're going into this house.
Well, no, so he dreams this house. He dreams
Yeah.
the Shocker is there murdering this woman. So he wakes back up and he's back in the car on the track.
Well, Shocker
Yeah.
tries to kill with his knife and then
that's
wakes
right.
wakes him up.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
it's a reverse Freddy.
It is a reverse Freddy. That's what, and I said that. And I've never seen the movie.
Yeah.
And he goes, Rhino, hit the gas.
Yeah.
But isn't he driving?
Whatever.
And they're on the track of the football field. Why do they do that?
Because they're star players.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon.
Clear
they're
eyes,
varsity.
full hearts, can't lose.
So now we find out that this whole car thing has been a trap. And so they get there and they're at where the real crime scene was. And they hear screams and all the cops show up. And I'm not sure how the cops
The
knew
cops
about
were
this.
staking out the football stadium and he was staking out his son.
Yes, he was taking out a son.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they drive off going to this apartment, whatever.
Yeah, and they go up and they see his dream. And they see
Well,
him.
they do, but the cops usurp them going in. So
Yeah,
like
they
the-
said, stay outside, kids.
Rhino
Yeah.
like knocks one over onto the roof of the car.
Rhino does not fuck with cops. Like
No,
he
he
won't
doesn't.
push a cop. He like tackles a cop at some point.
And so they run up and they see him holding a knife to the throat of Heather Langenkamp, who's in disguise.
Oh, is it?
It's actually Heather Langenkamp who plays Nancy in Nightmare on Elm Street.
I don't know.
So that's why that's.
I've never seen Nightmare on Elm
She's
Street.
the final girl in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, okay.
So Shocker is holding that knife to her throat, and he just throws her down the stairs and then runs off.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start this really bizarre chase because
Well, because
somehow-
Peter like hurdles over everybody to get in front of them, and he chases Shocker onto the roof.
Jonathan,
Shocker's
the
got a
kid.
limp. And so, anyways, they're on top of the roof.
Well, but there's a ladder going from one roof to the other, so the killer like lurches across that and then knocks the ladder off. But the cops get up there, see that he's on the other roof.
Rhino gets there first
Oh,
to
that's
give
true.
him some moral support.
Yeah,
and
then Jonathan jumps over.
Jumps it. Yeah, like Neo, and he makes
Well,
it.
it's not that far.
And then what you guys used a bunch of wrestling terms I didn't know. He double dragon punches
He gives him a
Shocker,
suplex.
and the suplex. It does straight up turn into a
Is
wrestling
double
match.
dragon punch a wrestling term?
No,
That's
he
why I
flies at him feet first and hits him into the door.
We got to get Robbie Vegas to tell us what these moves
We
are.
do,
because
yeah,
he would
Robbie.
actually know.
I'll probably show you what those moves are.
When I was on his podcast, All Bets Are Off, he actually threatened to come body slam me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was going to be a lot of fun, I guess. So Jonathan and the Shocker are fighting, and he is about to kill him. Like
Yeah.
he's about to
stick his face in the spinny thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, and he also cuts his cheek.
And
with the
about to
knife.
stab
Yeah.
him.
And he's about to stab, but the cops get up there and hold the guns on the Shocker,
Yeah.
and then he stops and
he says,
drops the knife,
"Okay."
and they arrest him.
I guess you got me.
then he goes, "I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker!" And then his dad, the detective's like, "He'll fry in the electric chair. Don't worry about it." Blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
jump cut to a week later.
Yeah, and
There's
we got
no trial apparently.
right. We got no more Mr. Nice Guy playing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
an electric chair getting set up, and a woman who's just disapproving of the whole thing.
She's the medical professional, Jen.
Is that the one that's 9 feet tall?
Yes.
Yeah, she is
the
very
Bond
tall.
villain who was 9 feet tall. Yeah, very
Yeah.
angular features.
And so Jonathan and his dad get there, and he just man spreads all over the chairs.
His legs are spread quite far in a relaxed fashion.
Because the next thing we see, they're going to get him to get electrocuted.
Yes.
And he somehow has a television.
Yeah.
And jumper cables and a bunch of candles
yeah, it's like he went to Hot Topic and
Right.
Home Depot,
in
or
his prison cell.
yeah.
Prisoners have rights, people.
They do
I don't
really
think
nice.
they have those kind of rights.
They do really nice last requests, I guess.
Yeah.
Did, yeah.
And
What do
that-
you want for your last meal? I want a television, jumper cables, black candles, the Book of the Satan, and
the Necronomicon.
yeah, and
I would love some mac and cheese.
and mac
Yeah.
and cheese.
Yeah. Can you make beanie weenies?
Cut up little hot dogs
Oh my
in
god, I
it.
haven't thought about beanie
God,
weenies
I
in
know.
like 30
Fucking
years.
love beanie
They were
weenies.
so good, right?
They are good.
Yeah, do they still make them?
You can eat that shit.
It's called a hot
cold.
dog and baked beans. You just put them together, Todd.
Let's
It's
go
called
get beanie
cooking.
weenies.
You can
after
eat that
this.
shit out of the can too. You'd have to warm that up.
Guys, make a tape.
2 in the beanies, 1 in the weenies. I should not have picked a movie that was named after a sexual thing.
No, you should have. Have you guys seen the horror movie The Fisting yet?
You guys, my favorite ghost story, Jonathan, I'm going to invite you back for this, is Rusty Trombone. It's about a dead marching band. He was murdered.
In water. Mikey, we're going to be rich. Oh my God. All right.
All right. So he's practicing black magic in his cell. And it's nuts because he's chanting all this stuff. Yama, yama,
Oh,
yama,
and
yama.
there's shit coming out of
and
the
a
TV.
weird mouth.
Okay, he's got the jumper cables attached to the television, attached to his nipples, and then he's chanting
it's
what Jen
not.
said.
They're not attached to his nipples.
And he says,
No.
"Give me the
They're
power."
attached to his hands.
They're attached to his
I think you're
hands.
thinking of last night, Mike.
It's not a.
Yeah, he's got like a prison outfit on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah,
he's
Mikey.
Not, he's not shirtless.
We've got
My
questions
personal-
we need to talk about later.
Anyway,
Were you watching the XXX Shocker?
what is the sexual name for shock? What is the porno name for shocker?
I think it's just XXX Shocker. It's got Vin Diesel in it.
Or it's shock, and then it's her. H-E-R,
Oh, yeah.
The sequel's called Pitch
So
Brown.
he tells the TV.
Oh my god. That sounds like the most disgusting movie ever.
Holy shit. I'm sweating so much right now.
So he's got the jumper cables. He says, "Give me the power," and then lips come out of the television made out of static.
they
And
say,
go,
"Oh,
you got
okay."
it.
Bone Daddy.
Yeah, it's like jive talking evil man or something.
We never get any explanation of that, right?
No,
No.
You
not
said
at all.
Mikey mentioned, and there was in the newspaper article it said he was into black magic.
Yeah,
and
they
that
found
was
a bunch
it.
of-
I think
Black
John
Magic.
Tesh told us that.
Yeah. After these scenes, John Tess
Yeah.
sums it up again
Yeah.
and says, "Black magic and animal sacrifices were found in his
Yes.
TV repair shop."
Yeah.
They were.
And so he gets electrocuted with these jumper cable things. And then he's kind of like passed out from being shocked or something. And he's laying on the ground and the guards are trying to decide whether to give him mouth to mouth.
Oh, no, they decide they need to because they're like, if we don't get him there alive to kill him, we're dead. Anyway, so they decide to give him mouth to mouth, and during the mouth to mouth,
dude, he like bites his lip
this
off.
part was pretty graphic.
I had to turn my head away.
Yeah, it was pretty
I
gross.
did too.
I watched it.
So what happened?
Mikey's into pain, guys.
Yeah, we found out with the whole jumper cable scenario.
But that guy loses his bottom lip. The other guy loses 2 fingers.
Yeah. So other cops come, help the cops that are now injured, and do eventually take him into the electric chair room.
He says, let's get on with the killing.
And then he gets to say his last words, and they're pretty much like looking at Jonathan and saying, I'm your real daddy.
I used to beat you good, boy.
Yeah, and
beat
then
him good when Mama tried to stop me with a gun. You don't remember me, do you? Huh? You shot me in the knee. So we find out that
that Shocker is Jonathan's dad and killed Jonathan's mom.
Right.
And that's how he ended up in the care of and eventually adopted by the police.
And Jonathan doesn't know any of this.
The detective didn't know. I couldn't figure that out. Okay.
I think the detective
No, I think the detective guy did know because he confirms the story after he gets electrocuted.
Okay.
So it's like a Halloween 2
Lieutenant
kind
Dawn.
of thing.
That's how he has the limp.
You guys didn't catch that?
And that's why his lip transitions to his body, because the only person who can really hurt him is his son.
Yeah.
Oh, and
we need to know when he's in somebody else's body.
Exactly.
It's a
plot
convenient
device. Too. It's okay. Yeah.
It's real dumb that that's a plot device. If you were transferring into someone else's body, you're not going to have the ailments your old body had.
Unless
the
your
lip is in your
magical
mind.
son.
And you should have their ailments, like if they've been shot.
Yeah,
or which
absolutely.
So they kill him, or do they?
Right.
Because they forgot the sponge, and he's still he's still alive, and so
he just got burn marks on his head now.
Right, and the power's like flickering, and there's all kinds of lightning in the room and stuff.
Ernest goes to jail at this point.
Yeah, Bond lady goes in there.
Yeah, she does.
And then-
She gets shocked just from touching him.
Yes, and then she, if you guys have seen season 3, episode 1 of Rick and Morty, this is very easy to understand what happens. He transfers his mind into other people and then escapes the prison that way.
Or if you've seen Fallen.
Yeah,
Or
Fallen.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those movies. Sorry.
But this one
Fallen?
obscure
Have you guys
episode.
not seen Rick and Morty?
No.
Okay.
So anyway, so he transfers his consciousness into the 9-foot-tall Bond villain.
Yes,
who's
but we don't
very
know that
angular.
yet. So after there's all kind of lightning in the electric chair room. They walk in and they're investigating the scene, trying to find the body, and the body's gone.
Yes.
He's not in the electric chair anymore.
When they sound the alarms, escape
They do.
prisoner, lock down all the things.
Yeah. And takes the time to confirm that he's not his real dad.
Right. I mean, honestly, he is his real dad.
He has his
He
last
is.
name.
He's the one who raised him.
Right,
But his biological father is the Shocker.
And yes, if you have adopted a child, that is a fantastic thing to do. And if you've given up a child for adoption, that's a fantastic
But
thing
just
to
be
do.
wary, because sometimes the people's dad that you adopted them from are serial killers that'll come back and murder your whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So watch out for that, I guess.
Well, so he's confirming that he's not his real dad. And then he opens the door and, oh my God, Shocker's right behind the door. But he's dead and he falls to the floor. And,
And
just
then phosphorus
shock
burns.
evaporates.
Yeah. He like burns up in like a puff of blue fire.
Yeah.
But
this is the first part of the movie where I'm like, what?
this is the first moment you did that? There were so many moments before this where that is warranted.
The body just disappears, which is odd.
But
burns
his
up.
clothes stay
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, he's already inside. This sounds very sexual, and it is not. He's already inside the very tall, angular woman, the medical professional, and escaping that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but we don't know that
escapes
yet.
prison just like Rick does in season 3, episode 1 of Rick and
Maybe
Morty.
they were
Oh my
paying homage to
God.
Shocker.
Oh my God! I'm gonna text Dan Harmon and ask him.
So now they're driving the activist lady to the hospital, the medical professional lady.
Yes.
And she just shocks them out from the back seat.
And like
she,
the car explodes.
yeah, but
and-
not before she licks the driver's face.
What?
Yeah, didn't
I
you see
missed that.
Yeah, it was
No,
really
she
weird.
definitely did.
She does. And then
Gross.
drives him straight into a truck and it explodes.
Right.
All right, so he wakes up in a waterbed and he's
So Jonathan wakes up in a
Jonathan
waterbed.
wakes up in a waterbed.
Yeah.
Let's time out here.
And I did actually have a waterbed.
This is the
And your name is Jonathan.
Yeah. So Jonathan.
Let's talk about this. He stays in this apartment When
Yes.
his girlfriend was murdered in the bathroom. That's where he wakes up after he goes and watches a guy gets executed.
He goes and like uses the bathroom. Like, I mean, he's
Guys, 2 more people die in this apartment and he stays in it.
another person dies in that bathtub.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like
What?
And it's haunted.
100% haunted.
And
Yes,
this is
it
when we
is.
find out
Yes.
because he's walking around in his boxers. Mm-hmm.
Winky blinky.
There's no winky blinky. He's definitely in his
Oh,
boxers.
yeah. No, that wasn't a euphemism.
It's not a euphemism. Yes,
Yeah.
he is actually. So he walks over and he hears a strange noise, and this is when he sees Ghost Girlfriend. So she's got blood all over her, and she's wearing her dress that she was buried
She's in the shower. Like he hears the shower going. That's the sound.
That's it. This is when she hands him the necklace, though.
Yes. So she is a redhead all of a sudden, probably because of the blood in her hair.
Yeah.
And then she walks out of the shower and like gives him the heart-shaped necklace.
yeah, like I was like, did her hair color change? And Todd's like,
Yeah.
yes, because I'm feeling it now.
Yeah, she was a blonde. Now she's a redhead. And
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
But it's all the blood in her hair.
Which is really
Yeah,
nice.
I'm out. I'm out. Listen, I've dated people who dye their hair red. It's not as good as the real thing.
So she seems like a friendly ghost, but
Well,
she's covered in blood.
She's no Casper.
She
Come
is,
on.
but she's saying you have to stop him. And then he wakes up in his waterbed.
again.
So now he's doing sad packing. And he sits in his Vibo chair.
Yeah, because he decides to move. So he's been haunted by his dead girlfriend. So he then haunts everything in his house by putting a sheet over it.
Right, exactly.
That's how people moved back then.
So now somebody's knocking on the door, and
Yes.
simultaneously he's pressing his his answering machine. So he's hearing his messages
Oh,
while
yeah.
he hears it, and he says, "Jonathan, police." So he's getting a voicemail, and he's looking at this guy, and it looks like the guy who was driving Bond villain girl to the hospital. And he was like the survivor of this explosion.
crash, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But he won't look right at the door. And so while Jonathan is looking out the people at this guy,
Isn't
he's
it
hearing
his dad on the phone?
Yeah, he's hearing
Yeah.
the voice message.
And his dad's
from
like,
dad.
we can't find the guy who was in the hospital.
If he knocks on your door, something is suspicious.
I don't think it's quite that on the nose, but it is
But
almost
it is
that on the nose.
It's
Yeah.
like right on the cheek, you know?
It's like when you're drunk and they ask you to do a field sobriety test and you can't quite hit the nose.
It's like
that.
your
Yeah.
eye that you poke
Absolutely.
yourself into.
So he looks out the people, and then the cop does turn around, looking dead through the people.
Because
and
he
then
says, "Oinky blinky." Is that you?
he pulls the gun out and shoots through the people,
1950s.
and Jonathan runs back through and like he misses
Yeah.
him with the shots.
And he like Ferris Bueller's over like 20 fences
Yes.
to get to a park. And so now Pazzarotti or something, whatever the guy's name is, he's the policeman who's been shocked
Yeah.
because now we suppose that he might be Shocker Guy in his body. So they have a long chase through the park. And this is when we find out that the limp came with him. And so they just start cursing all over the park next to kids and a bunch of geese.
Oh yeah, and they're like, there's like gunplay involved.
Yeah.
Like they're shooting at each other. Like,
Yeah.
well, not at each other, but he's shooting at Jonathan.
And this is the one time Jonathan actually gets shot out of thousands of times that people shoot at him
Yeah.
in this movie.
And there is a ton of geese.
There really
There are.
It's
They're
like,
big
like there's
geese.
a separate horror movie about geese going
I
on.
know.
There's
Also,
outside
a
the
billion
park.
couples snuggling in the park. Like
Yeah.
every time a shot's fired, a different couple gets up in the background and runs off.
It's the same couple. They just keep moving around the park.
Who the hell keeps shooting guns at us?
Are they following us?
Yeah.
What drives me crazy is that when he first runs out of his house, he turns back around and says, "Hey man, what are you doing?" Like, and the guy's chasing him with a gun.
Oh, what are you gonna do? Shoot me?
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
And he does.
Tries to
Yeah.
reason. Yeah, he does shoot him.
But he gets shot super early on in the sequence, this
Yeah.
one scene.
Yeah.
And he's just running around with a shot arm.
It just
Yeah.
grazed him. Okay, Todd.
Oh my god.
All right, so now the guy's starting to clutch his chest, and then he falls down, and he's maybe not Shocker anymore. And he wakes up and he can't remember how he got out of the hospital. And then a jogger runs over.
Well, Jonathan first goes, "Hey, are you Peretti or whatever?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like gets confused. Jonathan gets
Yeah.
confused.
I think this is the first time you see that you can sort of fight off Pink or Stinker when he's inside you.
Right. By saying no.
Yeah. By saying
If you
no.
don't consent.
Yeah, you can like overpower him by force of will, right? It seems
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah,
at
you
least.
just roll your
And this is the
D20 die for a will check.
Yeah.
Nerd alert.
You guys, any D&D fans out there?
I'm sure they are. This is a horror podcast.
Yeah.
Listen, I played D&D. It's a lot of fucking fun.
So the jogger is running over. Cop starts shooting again, shoots the jogger.
Yeah, and, like,
and he
the
said,
arm,
I
too.
didn't even do anything.
Because he's looking for a body.
Yeah, and
So
then
he's
he
like,
does
"Come
it
on,"
inside
and
him.
he
And
shoots
so
him in the
to
back.
get it,
Yeah,
shoots
I was
him in
like,
the
what?
back. Jogger falls over, and dude like tactical crawls
He arm
over
crawls
him.
over
And
and
then we
on
have-
top of
Yeah,
him.
we have another grab from behind. Too.
Yeah.
It's not just a grab. There's like a humping motion?
It's a mount.
There's a
He
lumbering
mounts him.
mount.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real weird.
and then he gets inside him.
These are
he's
true
still-
And
facts.
somehow makes it all the way to the other side of the park for that little girl.
Yeah. Because now
Oh my
Jonathan
God.
goes off and like
Cut to Jonathan, who's
Jonathan's
just leaning
looking like
against a
he's in
pole.
Dawson's
Oh, yeah,
Creek,
that's right.
looking out
Yeah.
at the lake, just thinking about how sad Joey
He's
is.
like, why won't
With a
Joey be
shot
with me?
arm.
Maybe he's trying to remember how to drive again. He's like, I really need to figure out that driving thing.
I think maybe he's just lost so much blood, he has no idea what's going on.
He probably still has a concussion.
That's true,
and
too.
every member of his family and his girlfriend, except for his
Well,
dad.
He's had a real busy
And
week.
at
You're
this
right.
point, he's still holding his arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
he's still
forget about the
pretending.
gunshot
They
about
do.
2 seconds later.
Yeah, and then a little girl runs into him on a bike, and she's like, "Oh,
"Hey,
sorry, mister." Yeah,
And he's even like giving her he stops a second. He's like, yeah, you just might want to watch where you're going next time. Like,
Yeah.
why?
no, he
why,
says,
what does it
"You
matter?
hit my funny bone. It's
Yeah.
fine. Just
Yeah.
be safer next time."
He's nice to the little girl. It's sweet.
It is
Yeah.
sweet.
He's nice to her for now. And then she plows through a whole bunch of geese and ducks.
Yeah,
And-
she reels away on her bike. Yeah,
Right. And comes across the jogger who's laying on the ground dying. And I think this is when she gets shocked.
Well, yeah, no, we see that happen, but during that, we also see the girl's mom walk up to Jonathan, and
yeah.
they have like a little moment of,
Have you
"Hey,
seen my
have you seen my
daughter?"
daughter?" She asks Jonathan where the kid is, and he's like, "Yeah, she's over by the light pole. I did see her."
And she's only halfway creeped out
and
by the
she's
bleeding.
not like, by the way, is your arm okay?
Yeah.
Right,
No, she
exactly.
does not care.
And this begins my favorite part of the movie.
Me too.
I mean, and we're talking about a movie where Leave It to Beaver
Yeah.
and Alice Cooper and Hiroshima all happen in 30 seconds of each other.
Yes.
This part is amazing.
Is this the
because
part where the girl goes, "I'm gonna get you, fucker"?
Yeah.
Shit, they have an
Now the
8-year-old.
girl
Yeah, that's
has
when
a
you were
limb.
like, I love 80s movies.
Because now, like when we did the Babadook, when the mom's yelling at the kid, it's just a close up of the mom. You never see the mom
Yeah.
and the kid actually when the mom's yelling at the
Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
right? Because they want to protect the kid from that, and
80s
that's
didn't
awesome.
care, man.
That's great. 80s did not care. It was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this kid say fuck and shit, like, and just lose her mind. Like it's so.
She's going to do her
80s.
own stunts too.
Yes,
also love
she
this
did.
scene.
It's amazing.
So she
Just stick with
limps
it.
over to a fucking bulldozer.
Now,
Yes.
And
listeners,
she's-
the limp means
Oh yeah, I
she's
forgot
the
about
killer.
how did I
Yeah.
forget about the bulldozer?
Dude,
that is
and
amazing.
she's trying to like rev the bulldozer's engine. She says, "Come on, fucker!" in her little kid
Yes,
voice.
and a bulldozer
It is
takes
so
off.
funny. All right, and now his arm's fine, but he finds the jogger and he starts putting everything together
Yeah,
in
he
his
gets-
because it's her
mind.
bike and the dead jogger, and he's like,
Like,
a clue.
Is this this is the bulldozer jump scare, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
because while he's deducing, he's connecting all of his red string and putting his post-it notes on. Oh my God, a bulldozer! Out of nowhere.
And she runs it into a pile of dirt.
Dude.
Which, ironically, it's where it's supposed
That's
to
what.
go.
Yeah, she's doing the construction workers a favor.
It did really just look like she was going about her business.
Yeah.
Bulldozer business.
She's like, that's the youngest construction worker I've ever seen. But
But she sure does have a foul mouth.
she
on her.
does talk like a
Yeah.
construction worker for
And
sure.
so then she gets out and runs.
Well,
and
you forget, she turns to Jonathan and was like, fuck you, Jonathan.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this.
Mind you, that's his dad.
His real dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
This movie's insane.
It is.
So this 8-year-old girl is possessed by a conservatively 55-year-old man who is trying to kill everyone, especially his son. It's insane.
And so she starts running away, and he's chasing her.
He
And
sprints after her.
this is when the mom comes back on the scene and sees Jonathan running after her daughter.
Yeah.
And this limp.
No, he picks her up.
Yeah, she convenently missed the bulldozer part.
Yeah. Yeah,
She missed the bulldozer
where her daughter
portion of the
tried to
day.
kill her and said a bunch of words
Yeah.
that are not okay. And so he picks her
hilarious.
up and he's like yelling at her, and she kicks him in the nuts and he throws her down, and then he throws the necklace on top of her and she starts to, and then Shocker orbs out of her body.
Yeah.
Yes.
And jumps into the mom.
Yeah, mom's freaked out until she gets jumped into.
Yeah, and then she's okay because she got shocked. So then we get some rock and roll repairman who grabs a pickaxe.
He's like a construction worker.
Yeah, he is. Mom shocks him.
Yeah.
That's
And
right. So he
he's got his
becomes the
pickaxe.
shocker,
And
right?
instead of just killing Jonathan right there with the pickaxe, he uses the pickaxe to hook the necklace and throw it 5 miles
Yeah.
into the lake.
Literally, it goes real far.
I know. So he's getting medical attention from Brother Raimi, and I called him that because I didn't. He's like somebody Raimi's
He's
brother.
Sam Raimi's brother.
Sam Raimi's
Yeah.
brother.
The guy who directed like the Spider-Mans.
Right,
and,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
And Evil Dead.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And so he's got his football team member is patching up his arm
Wait,
because
his ride or die homie?
yeah.
Yeah.
No. Glasses Rider died.
Oh, Pac-Man.
Well, he's got the whole team in the gym for a meeting.
And
Pac-Man's not on the team though. He's like
He's like the
like the
equipment
talent.
manager.
Water boy.
He's the equipment manager, guys.
I think
Come
we
on.
forgot to talk about when he knocked over the table full of water, and it was funny.
Yeah, that was fucking 30 hours ago. That was in the first scene of the movie.
I like
funny.
this scene because he's got the whole football team. He's getting his gunshot wound treated by the
There are
coach.
no medical professionals in this entire town.
And he's like, look, guys, the killer's made of electricity and he's going into other people's bodies and I need your help.
And they're
like,
immediately like,
Okay.
oh, yeah,
What
that
are we gonna
sounds
do?
like a thing that could
included the
happen.
coach.
Yeah, he's like, Coach,
Yes.
go to my house, get my scuba mask so I can go in there and get the magical amulet.
Necklace from the bottom
Coach
of
is
the
like,
lake.
I will do this for you.
Rhino, I need you to come with me to the lake. And then we're going to meet up in an hour and a half. And Rhino's like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck
And
yes.
Pac-Man's like, I'll go with you, Coach.
Right.
Yeah.
But it
Get
turns
this
out
done.
evil construction worker was under the bleachers the whole time.
Looking up their shorts.
Oh, my God. What a perv.
All right, so now they're at the lake and the coach isn't there. And I guess it's 5 hours later.
And
'cause
it's dark.
It is dark. And Jonathan is like, we got to get the thing. So he starts walking into a dark lake. And then he says,
We can't do it without the mask.
But
and then he
not
walks
until
out of
his
the lake.
friend has walked in behind him. Rhino
yeah,
walked
because
in behind
Rhino
him.
was ride or die.
So they can't just have this conversation on the beach of the lake. They have to walk 10 feet into the lake to have the conversation about how
None of
they're
this
not going
makes-
to go into the lake because it's dark.
They're legit in the water for 20 seconds.
I know.
Jonathan's like, Rhino, I can't see down there without the mask. And Rhino's like, it's dark, bro.
Yeah, no
How would you be
shit.
able to see down there with the mask?
Right.
It's dark.
I know. You don't have an underwater flashlight, you dumbass.
Yeah. This is when he grabs him from behind and gives him a headlock of tough love.
Because that's what people do in this movie. They
I
come at
know.
you from behind.
Yeah, with some tough love.
So anyway, doesn't he go home after this?
Yeah, he goes back to the apartment because he's got to find the coach and
Yes.
he's got to get this mask.
Yes.
All right, so it goes back to his apartment and there's blood writing on the wall again, but this time it's in cursive. And so we know it's from a lady and it's written, I think it's the girlfriend has written, "Stop him, Jonathan, please."
Yeah, it is.
But it's in really pretty handwriting, but drippy bloody.
But we think, and so we hear somebody in the shower and we think it might be Ghost Girlfriend again, but it's not. It's Coach. And he's like stabbing his hand or something, like he's been
he's
writing in the blood. Yeah, I don't know. And then Shocker stabs him through the door and we start hearing No More Mr. Nice Guy playing and then they lamp fight over the waterbed.
Yes.
There's a big fight in the apartment.
then-
He fights pretty good.
Yeah.
does,
He's
yeah.
good. The guy who plays him does a good job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Peter Berg is awesome.
He should direct.
He
Fights
should.
dirty, like kicks him in the knees. He fights Coach, and Coach is about to stab him, and then the Ghost Girlfriend comes out of nowhere and is like, "Hey, everybody!"
Ease his pain.
Yeah.
Go the distance.
And then he's like, "Oh, I can't stab him." And then the girlfriend was like, whispers to Jonathan like, "You can will him out or whatever."
Yeah. You just have to believe in yourself. That
Yeah.
necklace is in you
She's
all the
like, she's
time.
like, swing away, Meryl.
Yeah.
So Jonathan's talking
He's
to Coach.
got a baseball bat, but while he gets the baseball bat, Sam Raimi's brother falls out of the attic.
His name is
He's
Pac-Man.
dead too.
Is he in an
Pac-Man.
attic? I thought he put him like on the
No, he's in
top
the top
shelf
of the
a
closet.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how he even got him up there.
But he looks down and sees the scuba mask in a pool of blood, and that's when he looks up and sees Pac-Man fall on
And
him.
The
so
whole
the scuba
plan is
mask has
ruined.
blood on it now, so he can never clean the scuba mask off.
No, you can't
and
wash
dive
blood.
into a lake full of water.
Yeah, it's
And go
ruined.
to the bottom.
Legit, it's ruined.
So then he tries to talk Coach out of the body. He's like, "Coach, you got to fight him, and then like
Yeah.
we're gonna win the big game."
I know you're still in there.
You
Full
might
hearts,
lose your hand.
It's clear eyes, full hearts can't lose, Coach.
So Coach is like, "He's too strong," and then Coach stabs his own hand. Like Jonathan said.
Oh yeah.
And then stabs himself.
Yeah, kills himself right in
Slowly
front of him.
stabs himself and win one for the Gipper.
And I'm not trying to steal your fun facts, but I read that was a scene they cut.
They did, yeah, I do
to
have
get
fun
it
facts
down
about
for the
that.
X rating.
It was, but they put it back in because it's such a big scene in the book. The people who love the book,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
they demanded it. They could not have it.
Yeah, they
so
started
yeah.
a petition
You say that with
online.
such a straight face.
Yeah,
The name of the book is A Tale of Two Fathers.
it was the best of times. It was the worst of
It was
times.
called "Grab Me from Behind."
No, that's
Man
the X-rated
inside
version.
So now Shocker orbs out of Coach's body and Ghost throws him against a wall. And this is when Ghost Girlfriend appears.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Care Bear stares
She
him
does
into
Care
the
Bear
other
stare,
room.
yeah.
Yeah, I
what
like
the
this
fuck?
part.
I love the Care Bears.
Me
but man,
too.
what is going on in this
And
movie?
this part, she looks like Gandalf the White too.
She does.
She's not bloody
She doesn't
anymore.
have blood anymore. Yeah.
No, she fought the Balrog. She came back. Yeah, I get it. It's fine.
She arrives precisely when she means to. All right, so not his real dad is knocking at the door.
Yeah.
And Go's girlfriend has something important to tell him.
She actually says, I have something important to tell you.
Yeah.
Lean down to whisper, cut away.
Yeah.
So we
Yes.
never know what it is.
Well, his detective dad is knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Shocker sees an outlet and has a brilliant idea to
What is his
fingerface
brilliant-
fuck that outlet.
Yeah.
And then he gets a shocker boner.
He does, in the sense that he's like fingering the outlet and getting electrified, right?
And his body is getting hard
Oh,
and
yeah.
starting
light
to
as a feather,
move
stiff as a
up.
board.
Yes, yes.
He's light as a feather, stiff as a board.
The power of outlet compelled him.
And he's making noise. He's like,
Yeah.
So then he gets electricity floated up into the air and he disappears. And we didn't hear what the girlfriend says.
He disappears into the light
Yeah,
socket.
he's-
Right,
He
right.
goes into the light socket. Yeah.
But now the dad's there and he says there's an APB out on him because everybody saw this giant gunfight
yeah.
in the
Finally,
park.
they're thinking maybe he's the killer.
Yeah.
Maybe
Because he's
all
the only one
20
in
of
his
these
circle of
clues.
friends and family that's still alive. Yeah.
And he's covered in blood. He has his
Right.
door
And there's-
covered in blood.
And there's 2 corpses.
And
they don't
And
know
he
that
knows
yet.
all of the extreme details of every
Exactly.
murder.
And
yeah.
they all happen in his apartment.
well, half of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The other half happened in his dad's house.
But his dad talks to him and he's like, you know, everybody saw Peretti chasing you in the park, shooting at you, and then he's dead. He's like, everybody thinks I killed him. He's like, no, his body just dropped dead.
And we saw you assault that girl.
He didn't even say that.
All right, so now he's under arrest by his own dad.
And then Pinker goes and kills somebody else, right? Because
Yeah, Pinker Stinker
We're
does.
missing
Yeah.
a really important part
Oh,
where like
sorry.
the newbie cop tries to read him his rights. He like pulls out
Oh
the
my
book.
God, I love this.
pulls out
And
his
he's like,
notebook.
you have the right to remain silent.
That dude won a Do You Want to Be in a Movie cereal box contest, and he could not remember his lines,
Yeah.
which were just the Miranda rights.
Yeah.
So he had to write them
Oh,
down.
I guarantee you there was like an MTV contest or something. to be in Shocker.
Yep.
They didn't even put him in cuffs, and he just murdered 2 dudes.
Yeah,
right there.
I know.
he goes uncuffed into the back of his dad's police car because his dad became Shocker.
He got shocked by the lamp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is great too because Ride or Die comes.
Dude, Ride or Die / Rhino's his
Rhino.
name.
Breaks a cop car window and
Yes.
body slams a cop.
Yeah.
All in a swift motion. He goes running by the cop car, breaks the back window out so Jonathan can get out of it, and then spears a cop.
Yeah.
Who
No,
is-
not just one cop, like 7 cops.
Yes. It's
And
insane.
I don't even know why he does it because he doesn't know why Jonathan's in the cop
You don't
car.
need to know. You're a friend.
Yeah, he doesn't
Apparently.
care.
So Jonathan
He's ride or
takes off,
die.
and his dad starts shooting.
and shoots off the hat of a cop.
Yeah, almost kills like 4 guys and
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Well, because he's Shocker at this moment. He's not his dad.
And
he's
now
his
we
real dad,
and
biological
we know
dad.
from the creepy smile that he gives him.
Yeah.
And now we get our rock and roll car chase scene.
oh my God.
And dad is chasing him, but really both of his dads are chasing
Yeah.
him.
Yes.
And Mikey said it was co-parenting, which was really funny. Whew. All right, so now they're on a roof, and he's shooting at him like 30 times and not hitting anything.
Yeah, they're literally trying to get like the highest elevation they can, and it's at a TV station.
Yeah, he's climbing up the towers, but also
There are so many towers in this town.
Yeah.
Yes, they spent
Yeah.
half the movie on the roof and half the movie in the lake and the the other half of the movie in the
And
apartment.
there are
Hey, Jen,
ladders
that's 3
everywhere,
halves.
including
This town is basically like a level of Donkey Kong.
It really is.
So they climb up on top of the tower, like that's got like satellite dishes and shit on
Yeah.
it. And he's like, "Dad, you gotta fight him."
I know you're in there somewhere. Same thing he said to the coach.
He's like, "Dad, you gotta fight my dad, who's
Yeah.
also not my what?"
He's like,
I don't
"You're
know.
not my real
He
dad."
killed my mom and my other mom.
Yeah, he killed
and my
both
sister
of his
and my
moms.
other sister.
Yeah,
He's
my
killed both of this guy's families.
it's almost like he has it out for him.
I know.
Anyway, so dad, sorry, foster dad or adopted dad, his real dad, not
Both-
his
all
biological
dads.
dad, right? Fakes a heart attack.
Yeah. and then falls in front of the satellite dish.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he's hanging on, and this is when Shocker shocks out of him into the satellite signal.
And becomes the radio or the satellite transmission.
Actually, in the words of the Shocker, he goes, "I'm worldwide now, bitch."
I think he says nationwide.
Oh, nationwide.
And it turns out he was faking that heart attack just to get him out and spread the evil all over the world
'cause he's
instead
like,
of just sacrificing himself in that
I
moment.
never knew you had a heart problem.
Right.
I don't, son. But he didn't know that.
Pinker Stinker doesn't know either.
That's right, ladies. Men can fake it too.
But taking notes.
Make a tape.
At least this is where the movie gets really amazing. This is where it ranks up to 10 for me.
Yeah.
Now Jonathan is arrested, and John Tesh explains the rest of the movie that we're still trying to figure out.
This movie's subtitle should be just John Tesh explains it all.
Exactly. Seriously.
Yeah, because they just yada yada over like another
God.
family gets
Yes.
murdered.
This might have been the time where I had to stop it and just catch up with the notes because I was like, what the
Like,
fuck
We
is
did. No, you
happening?
did pause it just so you
Yeah.
could catch up with what's
2
going on.
times.
Do you
Yeah.
know these people are just like, who the fuck is Jonathan Parker and why is he in every news report?
I know. And why do I care? Because there has been another murder. And apparently the coach thing was a murder suicide.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they imply, they make an implication.
All right, so now they have a football plan to kill him because
football
all
plan
the
to kill
football
him.
players
Oh my God.
in
Yeah.
the apartment.
This
Dude.
confused the crap out of me.
Dude.
It almost feels like the satellite dish thing is the end of the movie, right? And then
Yeah.
cut to them in the locker room. Oh, no, he's not in the locker room. He's in his apartment, right?
Yes.
Still.
So the apartment that his girlfriend, Coach, and Pac-Man died in this
He's
week.
taking a nap.
Yeah, they're making their football team plan.
Yes.
They're huddled up.
So they set off, and Jonathan's got some plan with a curly-haired gentleman from the network, and they're in
Yeah.
this room with a giant Raggedy Ann doll.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's his family's house where his sister was murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where his mom and sister were murdered, I
yeah.
think. The room it happened in.
Right.
Yeah, with
And
Annabelle on the wall.
Not quite sure what's happening with this plan, but he's playing hardball, and he says, if you don't follow along, I'm going to go to the other network.
Well, the plan is to prove that he's not the murderer because
Right.
they're calling the murders that happened after the.
But they know he's not the murderer.
No,
because-
they don't.
Yeah, John Tesh says
Yeah, John
that he
Te-
can't be because he was in jail when that other
Oh,
family got
his
murdered.
the
Ted
copycat.
still arrested him and he went
Right.
to jail and then that family got murdered and then they let him out.
That's right. So he's trying to get Pinker Stinker into that room so he can prove to the media that it's
Right.
not a copycat killer, it's the original killer.
So now we see all the football players wearing their black trench coats.
They're all in their football issued black
Trench
long
coats.
Trench
coat
coats.
And he's
Ray
got
coats.
a red cane.
Yeah.
And he twirls it around a little bit and sings around in the rain.
Right.
It's pretty much
And
music,
this is
man.
like the
It is.
power mainframe for the entire city.
It is. So yeah, it's like the power generator for the whole city, right?
All right. So now we got Peter Berg at the Misty Lake. So he's fully clothed, wearing like an old man Fraser sweater, takes the sweater off, and continues to walk into the lake. Fraser is good, man.
No, I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Fraser
okay.
is good. I'm so mad that he took off his cardigan
Right.
and
And
nothing,
nothing
else.
else.
And
It
then
was
gets
cashmere,
in the lake.
to be fair.
I don't care what it is. If you're going to go for a swim looking for a necklace at the bottom of the lake in the dark,
Yeah.
you're going to take off your shoes at least.
Yeah.
It's also foggy.
This actually does get a little creepy in
It
the water
does.
because it's foggy and the girlfriend shows up.
She does. Well, so first he swims all the way out. So he still can't find it because, as Mikey said, he's still just diving down into the same place.
Yeah.
And so he implores the heavens to find the watch. Nope, to find the necklace.
No, he does. He's like begging God to help him
Yeah.
find the necklace. And then his girlfriend orbs up on him in the
Yeah.
water.
And he's like, oh God! And he runs
it's
away.
scary.
Even
It's
though
so
he's seen her
scary,
so
yeah.
many times.
Yeah.
He's had full conversations with her.
He's seen her dead more times than I've seen girls I've dated.
Yeah, because you
that we're
ghost them.
alive.
And I had a mental picture of this being like a metaphor for your dating life. Like
It's reverse
the girls
ghosting.
just swim around trying to get you.
Yeah.
You just keep diving down in the same spot, Mikey.
You try to ghost
You're
him.
never gonna find that necklace.
That same spot is Bumble, Mikey.
Look, I am good at finding the spot.
He's like swimming and she's like being pulled like in Jaws, like the beginning of Jaws. And she's like moving around, right?
Right, yeah. So it turns out he's dreaming in his waterbed.
Yes.
So
he's having like the best wet dream ever.
No, he's having the worst wet dream.
That is true.
Because they finally make it to the shore.
Yes.
They kiss.
It
He
becomes
does.
like a late 80s like R&B video, like lay you down.
The best part is she has to talk him into it in the dream. He's like,
Yeah.
She's like, I'm kind of cold. Will you hold me? He's like, I
Yeah.
don't know. No, maybe. This
I
he
don't
like
know,
lays
you're
it on him.
dead.
Of course you're cold. You've been dead for weeks.
Yeah. But thank you for cleaning all that blood out of your hair. So now I'm into
Yeah.
So he lays her down on the shore.
Yeah, dude. And so he's writhing around in his waterbed back in real world. And
No,
we
he
see,
first-
because the TV creeps over to the bed while
Oh
he's
my God, I
asleep.
forgot about the
And we
TV.
see Shocker peering in to look at him having this weird wet dream in his waterbed. And then we're back in the dream, and all of the victims of Shocker
yeah.
are cock blocking him and saying,
Yeah.
Stop making out with her and go kill the serial
Yeah,
killer.
they're like, what are you doing?
don't get caught napping. And I think
yeah,
it's supposed
coach is
to
like,
be-
bro, get it together.
Yeah.
What I tell you, keep your eyes on the game and not the
Right.
women.
Yeah.
and this is what he was saying at that first football scene when he ran into that pole.
Yeah.
Shocker does Samara from the ring out of the TV and tries to get up into the bed with him to presumably grab him from behind because that's what everybody else does.
That's
Probably.
what's been happening the whole movie, so that
Probably
makes
so.
sense. Yeah.
And we see this like televangelist on TV, and this is when it just gets really
Yeah, because the televangelist is
weird.
like, check your perimeter.
Yeah.
Check your perimeter.
But he doesn't. He wakes up and he goes to get into his Vibo chair, and he finds out he's wearing the necklace.
He did find
because
Yeah.
the necklace was inside him the whole time.
Well, no, I think she put it on. I don't think he like pulled it out of his.
This is your granddaddy's necklace. I carried around this necklace.
And so now he's wearing the necklace in the chair, and oh my God, the Viber chair is alive, and the chair grabs
That
him.
is actually sort of a scary moment. It's not
is.
like scary, but it's a shocking moment, I should say.
And it's
Because,
very
the
Nightmare on
arms
Elm Street.
Grab him.
It looks like the chair from Pee Wee's
Yeah,
Playhouse,
it's cherry.
Oh, my
yeah.
God, it does.
I
but
never watched
murdery.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Shocker becomes flesh and blood through the power of Barca Lounger.
Right.
Yeah, it-
Okay, so now electricity chokes him into the wall or shocks out of the light fixture. He's just electricity flopping all over the place.
Yeah, they're fighting.
Yeah, it's electricity fighting. Yeah.
And then Shocker jumps into the TV. And now Peter Berg holds this necklace and it's like praying to it or something. And then he jumps into the TV
Yeah.
too. And then it just goes insane because he's in war footage. He's on Leave It to Beaver.
Hold on. This starts with Jonathan falling and then the serial killer making airplane wings and
Yes.
shooting machine guns out of his
Yes.
arms. And it's the best.
It is
Army guys are
insane.
like, whoa, who was that guy?
So basically, this serial killer is like if the Electric Gremlin in Gremlins 2 was a serial killer.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So they're chasing down Leave It to Beaver. They're in wrestling.
They're running through World War II like
That
war
Leave It to Beaver
footage.
thing's great.
Oh, and Shocker Killer grabs a World War II knife and takes it for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
off a corpse. Sorry.
And then they jump out into what I thought for a minute was like Roseanne's living room or something because it's just this bizarre family scene.
Yeah, I thought it was a TV set, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's actually
It's
they
like-
jump into this person's house and they're like fighting, and then the
Yeah.
Shocker starts fighting the dad of that
He's about to kill
family.
his dad.
Yeah.
And the woman's just sitting there the whole
She's
time,
making
like, I mean,
one-liners.
The family's son comes back from the kitchen with popcorn, sits down next to the mom, and starts eating.
yeah.
Yeah.
All while the fight is happening around them.
And so he
insane.
takes the remote from her.
Yes.
And
Jonathan takes the remote
Yeah,
from her.
Jonathan does and jumps
Yeah.
back into the TV. And then I think Shocker jumps back in the
Yes,
TV.
chases him.
And
Yeah.
it's like the Family Guy fights the chicken kind
Oh
of
my
thing.
God.
Where they just
Oh
fight
my
all
God.
over town.
Oh, yeah.
Peter
It's
Griffin,
exactly
that's it.
that. Yes.
And so finally they end up in this Raggedy Ann bedroom.
Yeah, where
and
his
that was
mom
the
and
plan
sister
the
got
whole
murdered.
Where not
time.
Jerry Seinfeld's like, oh my God, Horace Pinker.
Exactly. Ah! And Shocker saying, well, I killed your mom and your sister in this room, and now I'm going to kill you too. And then, he gets paused by the remote
He
control.
hits the freeze frame button.
Yes.
And so now it's like a magic wand remote because he can like make him bonk around.
Yeah, he's
the
throwing him
room.
around. It's like he's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And he has him in some
Axio
sort of
Shocker.
spell. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept.
And so he's got him paused or something, and he's about to kill him. And he's like, and you're my victim now too. And
Well, Jonathan explains the plan, and the plan was to get him there, and then all the power goes out everywhere, and then he dies because he can't jump into electricity,
Yeah.
and he just dies there, right?
Yes, but
Yeah.
the plan is that the power station was going to be turned off exactly at midnight. But because Jonathan jumped into a lake fully clothed, his watch is now busted and
Yeah.
he's 3 minutes late. And so his whole plan comes undone because now the football player trench coat plan people are hacking into the power station.
Hacking like hitting it, not
Right.
hacker like Angelina Jolie in the movie
Oh, yeah.
Hackers.
Yes,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like
football
hitting it
player
with
hacking.
I'm 100% sure it's a crowbar.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a crowbar, guys.
That checks out. The plan is all messed up. And so he's trying to jump back into the TV, and Jonathan unplugs it real quick. So he just like goes head first into the
he
screen.
hits his head through
It's
the
real
TV.
funny. There's so much that happens here. Okay, so he grabs the necklace. They're fighting over this knife that he stole from the guy. Jonathan puts the necklace on the camera and then jumps into the camera
Yeah.
to safety or something.
He jumps back into his apartment through the camera.
Through the camera. The camera blows up. Shocker's now trapped on the TV, and you can hear him, and he's like, never turn the TV on again. I'll get you then. And he's just trapped forever
And Jonathan
in that TV.
looks at the TV and goes, I don't want your life.
life.
And then turns the TV
West
off.
Canaan football is what you want.
Varsity Blues, but topical.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he goes outside and he looks at the stars.
No, and he talks to his girlfriend. He's like, "Hey, did you see that?" She's like, "Yeah, I did see it." I thought it was a sweet
thought
moment.
It is.
He kills the killer, goes outside, looks at the stars, and they tell each other they love each other as a ghostie. And then he walks down the street.
And literally, that's the movie. Yeah, like that's the movie.
He's talking to the girlfriend?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she talks back to him. You guys were talking.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking?
We were. I mean, he's not wrong. But yeah.
So it's happy music, and then almost immediately heavy metal, some kind of music, and it's the Shocker theme song, right? Jonathan, what's the song? Oh,
It's the classic band Bonfire.
Oh, yeah, Bonfire.
I think it's Sword in the Stone.
yeah, that's what I wrote down.
Oh, man.
We need a little John Tesh, like explaining what happens to the characters down the road. You know,
Absolutely.
Well, I'd like to say thank you all for coming on this journey with me about electricity and serial
Holy
killing.
shit, man!
I love this movie. It's insane. It's insane, but it's like I think I just love 80s movies because they're
nuts.
they're insane, and I just love their version of insanity because this movie is off the rails 10 minutes in and just progressively gets more off the rails.
It's an extremely watchable movie.
It is, yeah. Everyone should watch this.
It feels like 7 movies, though.
But I do feel, and saying this as the horror virgin, I do feel like this is a good movie for horror virgins to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's not super scary. It's funny. It's
It
great.
is violent, though. If you cannot take violent, it's
That's true,
very,
yeah.
very violent.
it's-
Todd is very violent sensitive, and he didn't have any troubles with it.
Not at all. Yeah.
That's true.
I'm really happy that it held up.
Yeah, it really
I'm
did,
happy
Mikey.
you guys liked it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Jen, did you like it?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm exhausted.
It fails.
I'm exhausted too. I get that.
It fails at a lot of things. Like it's too long.
It's
Oh,
way too
yeah.
long. There are 7 different plot stories that could have been taken out of this.
but it's fun, and when it gets going, it really gets going.
Oh, yeah, it does.
I mean, it's nuts.
I'd watch it again.
I don't know if I would watch this by myself, but it's fun to watch with a group of people.
It's definitely a me movie, and I just
It
wanted
is
to
a
share it
very
with
Mikey
y'all.
movie. Yeah.
All right, let's do box office.
All right.
Because the budget for this movie was, believe it or not, $5 million, which is a lot in the 80s.
The
but that's
special
not a
effects
lot.
were killer and hold
I
up.
know.
And there are a ton of them.
And I agree. Like, I think it looks great for a $5 million movie. Mikey and Jen, do you want to guess how much? I know Jonathan knows. So do you want to guess how much it made?
$100.
Okay.
That is wrong.
$10 million.
Close. It made $16.6 million.
I win this week, Jen.
It definitely made money.
It did, but it was not. But it was not the hit they wanted it.
No, it was not. But it made
Because
money.
It's so fucking confusing. And probably a lot of that money was made off of Wes Craven's name. This movie is an entire franchise. Like, if they had split up several of these storylines, they could have stretched this out to
There is
5 movies.
Conservatively, there are 4 or 5 movies in this movie. Yeah.
And that's part of why I don't think it's successful is because they tried to do way too much. The story is way too convoluted.
They're making TV shows out of every other freaking movie. Why not?
know.
Why not Shocker?
All right. Do you have any Jen's fun facts?
I do have some fun facts.
Jen's fun facts.
Jen's.
Now with more fun.
Yeah. All right. So this was severely cut because it originally got an X rating.
What?
Yeah, they had to submit it 13 different times to
Really?
get
But
it
this
to an
was
R.
a problem in the late 80s with horror movies.
Yeah.
You'll hear like a lot of the later Friday the 13th movies got cut back a lot. So I don't even know. Like today, it would probably get an R the first
Right.
time through.
Yeah.
But that
'Cause
happened with Scream too.
Yeah,
like
it
they
did.
had, and I think that's part of Wes Craven's style. And I think it's not so much that it's super violent; it's that he's so creative with how he's violent, and it's just kind of disturbing. All right, the things that got cut out when he bites the guard's fingers off, there was a part where he spit them out.
Oh, that would be cool.
Or gross. The coach stabbing his hand thing, and you mentioned this. It was apparently a lot more graphic when he stabbed his hand. and the execution scene where he was electrocuted was a lot longer. So those are the things that got cut out to get it down to.
I can't see how that scene could be longer. That was like 20 minutes.
I can't understand how any of this could be longer. And what you were saying this, and we were talking about Wes Craven. Like, Wes Craven is my favorite horror director, I think. I love him.
He's really good.
I think he's just trying to do too much. So the weekend that this premiered, it lost to Look Who's Talking.
But Look Who's Talking was a mega smash hit.
It is good.
Made a lot of money. Yeah.
I do
it
like
was John Travolta's comeback prior to his comeback in Pulp Fiction.
It was one of his first comeback, yeah. All right, so Peter Berg, we've talked about him. When he went into the lake, he actually got hypothermia because it was so cold. Yeah, he turned out okay. And Peter Berg, he directs a ton of stuff, including Friday Night Lights, which is why we kept talking about Full Hearts. Clear eyes, full hearts can't lose. Yeah. I keep forgetting, which I guess is why I don't have clear eyes.
The show.
He did produce the show. He directed the movie.
Yeah.
Produced the show. Yeah. So the killer, Shocker, he is played by Mitch Pileggi, and he was Skinner on the X-Files.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and
I don't
Skinner,
know who that is.
he's
80
like
Skinner. He was kind of like their boss for a lot of it.
yeah, he had to like talk Mueller down from
he
the
was
ledge.
super
a bunch.
bulked up in this
he
movie.
helped them out a lot. Like he
did.
would kind of be. He would kind of help him out.
He greased the wheels for him.
He was a
as
good
well.
dude.
The body in the park, the jogger, is Jonathan Craven, and that is Wes Craven's son.
Oh, cool.
Oh, no way.
I know. So the body of the road worker, the guy who comes up,
With a pickaxe.
His name is Kane Roberts, and he's Alice Cooper's guitarist.
There you go.
Yep. Okay. So there's a lot of like rock in this movie. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So
You mean like rock and roll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the original music from Megadeth, it was a cover of Alice Cooper's No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
The original song was written by the Dudes of Wrath. And it's kind
It was
of
the 80s, man.
it was. And this was kind of like a super group because it had
It's like Damn Yankees.
Yeah, and what was the Velvet Revolver was one too?
Yeah,
like
Velvet
Stone Temple
Revolver is
Pilots.
amazing.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
Matt Sorum is an amazing drummer.
Well, so this one had Paul Stanley from Kiss, Rudy Sarzo from Whitesnake,
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
and Tommy Lee from Motley Crue.
There you
So
go.
is that Paul Stanley singing?
I don't know.
But yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was their only song. Like, I don't think they ever
Yeah,
did
they
anything
did- they
else.
didn't-
'Cause
yeah.
I think I've looked them up before out of curiosity.
And so there was another guy in this group, and I just wrote his name down because it was bonkers. The guy's name is Guy Mandude. Like Guy
That's not a real name.
Man-dude. Oh, I know. And speaking of that, Mitch Pileggi, who played Shocker, appeared in costume on MTV's Headbangers Ball, presumably to announce the winner of the contest of the people
Where
that got
these
those
people
two
were at.
lines. Yeah.
Yes.
You joke. I bet there were some contests for this
I'm
movie.
sure there
'cause I know
probably were.
I remember they promoted the hell out of this on MTV.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are my fun facts, guys.
Thank you for your fun facts, Jen.
You're welcome. Fun facts.
All right, guys, let's do the scary scale.
Hey, listeners, our scary scale is how we rank. It's a scale that we use to rank how scared we were when we watched these movies. Our 1 example is Ghostbusters. Our 10 example is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is not a ranking of the quality of the movie. It's how scared when we watched it tonight. All right, Todd?
It's a 1 for me. It's great. Everyone should watch it. This is not a quality scale. It's a great movie. There are some moments that are scary, and if you don't like violence, I could see why you might give it higher. But it's not that scary. Everyone should watch this movie, though. Mikey.
I'm going to give it a 2.
Ooh.
Because I got scared at the lake where she popped up and flew after him in the
Yeah,
lake.
I could see
When
it,
she
'cause
was
it's like-
chasing him down to try to get him to commit to her?
Yeah, like commitment stuff can scare you. I can see that. That makes sense. I get that.
And the bulldozer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah.
Kids cursing scares you.
That's just like a me thing. I'm just projecting on this, but
Yeah.
like,
You're ginning it.
I'm just trying to swim in the lake. Why are you still coming after me? I don't. It's fine.
Oh, I'm a 1. I mean, there is. I mean, I think it is violent. So I'm definitely not saying this is like for kids to watch. But,
Yeah. It's
but
definitely not.
But
it's not scary.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 2 because there were 2 scenes that actually did make me jump just a little bit when he was behind the door in the prison. And I think when the girlfriend got murdered, like I didn't expect that. So it's a 2.
So you guys made me watch Shocker this week.
Mikey made us watch Shocker.
That's fair. So Mikey, thank you for making me
you're
watch
welcome.
Shocker this week. What are you guys making me watch next week?
We're not making you watch anything next.
Oh, listener
Todd.
request?
It's our listener
Nice.
request. Yes. And this was like a really kind of a dead heat right down to the end. 'cause
Oh,
we
yeah, it was
had a
between
tie.
Jason X and Pandora.
It was between Jason X and Pandora, and the winner was Pandora.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, hey, Jason X is on the list, guys.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, we are going to watch Pandora next week, and I think it's on Netflix right now.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, so check out Pandora for next week. So we're going to do another 5-star review that we got on iTunes this past week. And Mikey, of course, as he does, is going to read this for us.
Mikey's mother.
So it's this one.
I don't think she's done one.
Make your mom do a review. Come on.
Dino Gangoff 1.
I think it's Dino Gang of One.
Oh.
I might be wrong about
like
that.
a single dinosaur, like
Maybe
a
it's
last
Dino.
T-Rex.
Yeah.
Oh, Dino Gang of One. Okay, so Dino says, with an oversaturation of horror podcasts, it is great when you find one that has something that separates itself from the herd.
Aww.
The horror version managed to do that nicely. Enjoyable
you.
and funny. 5 stars.
Aw.
Thank you very much, Dino
you.
or Dino. We appreciate that 5-star review. And if you would like to have your 5-star review read on the podcast, leave a 5-star
one.
review. And make sure you leave a text review so we have
Yeah.
something to read.
Right.
And then, we'll read it. So, guys, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Horror Virgin. You can follow Jen at Jen Ferratu. Mikey is at M Randolph24. I am at Todd J. Awesome. Jonathan is at...
Sam Loomis 13.
Yeah, on Twitter. Are you on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that?
Not really.
So Twitter is where you can
Yeah.
find him.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's go ahead and plug your stuff because
Yeah.
you were our guest today. We should plug what
Thank
you're
you.
doing because you always got stuff
well,
you got going on.
Yeah. No, I mean, I work with Cinema Sins. I don't know if we mentioned that earlier. So we've got 3 YouTube channels. We got Cinema Sins, we got Music Video Sins, we got TV Sins, and we are putting new content out there every week. And we've got a podcast called The Sincast, which I am on occasionally, but we just started a new podcast, which I am on all the time, and it is called Behind the Sins. And it is with Aaron Dicer and Danae Hughes. We lovingly call ourselves the B Team. And it's just basically an examine. We just go over the previous week's Sins videos, and we talk about the movies, the music videos, the TV shows. We answer questions. But Behind the Sins, I think we're going to start. We've been dropping either on Wednesday or Thursday, but we drop somewhere in the middle toward the end of the week. And we've only had 3 episodes so far, so just jump on board. And
I just subscribed. Behind
awesome.
the
Thank you.
Sins.
Nice.
And then, and we've got some fun stuff coming up in the near future with the channels and other things. So we'll let you know on our Twitter handles and all that fun stuff.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, and thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes, for
man,
real.
thanks for
Thank you,
having me.
too.
I love coming and doing
Oh,
Awesome.
we love when you come too, so it's
All right.
awesome.
Make sure you follow us on all the socials and follow Jonathan on all of his. And also you can check out our website at horrorvirgin.com. I'm sure it's cinemasins.com.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, cinemasins.com. Just follow him there. So, guys, if you check out our website, you can see Jen's blog that she writes there. You can also get a link to our merch store. Mikey has promised to write a blog about, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and we have not seen
months.
a word.
Months
Yeah, 5
ago.
or 6 weeks is like months.
I have a computer. I'm going to write it.
Oh my God.
That was a weird outburst.
Yeah.
I have a computer.
What you said was that you could write it, but you have not yet written it.
Congratulations on the computer.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, we have a Facebook group. Jonathan just joined it tonight. Follow
I did.
Jonathan's example and join the Facebook group.
It's awesome. And
So
it's
I
free.
lied earlier when I said I wasn't on Facebook. I just don't have like a...
Yeah.
No, are you doing what I do? I'm
it's more of a
only a member
personal
of
account.
groups. That way I don't
Yeah.
see a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
So join the Facebook group. We have questions of the day. We have watch parties. We just do a lot of fun stuff. A great community growing very quickly on there.
It's fun.
Also, if you want to help financially support the show, please do. We're trying to save up and get better mics and mixer to give you guys better sound. But that's at patreon.com/horrorvirgin. So thank you to all of those that can support us that way. And for those of you who can't and just tell everyone about the show, we appreciate that as well. You guys, this week has been our most listened to week ever as a podcast.
It
And that
has.
is largely because you guys keep telling people about the podcast, and we appreciate that so much.
We
so
really
thank you guys
do.
so much for that.
Yes, and leave us reviews too. That's another way you can
It does
support
really
us.
help,
It
yeah.
really means a lot to us too.
Hit that share button.
Smash the subscribe button.
What are we, a YouTube video? What is it, Cinema
Hit
Sins?
that bell.
We are a member of the Modern Horrors Podcast Network, so of course follow the Modern Horrors Podcast as well as Death, Dying, and Other Things and the Final Girls Podcast. And if you listen to us in their feed, switch over to our feed and get it 2 days earlier, nerds.
Yeah. What are you waiting on?
Yeah, what are you doing with your life? So that's going to do it for us.
Hey guys, so that's going to be it from us this weekend.
We're not doing this.
I know, yeah. We
I'm
already
just gonna
did it
let you
for
say it.
5 minutes last time. So that's going to be it from us, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us
thank
today
you.
to watch
And
Shocker.
Jonathan, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yes,
for
thank
having
you
me.
so much.
We love having you on.
Probably see you again soon.
We've already planned it.
Yeah, we have. So I'm Jen.
I'm Mikey.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd, guys.
Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
That's about it for us.
I know, I've been sitting down so long. Oh my God.
We had a bathroom break that whole recording.
I love you guys so much.